Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Coming up this week, we're going to talk about the best DVC resorts for the holidays as voted on by the folks on the DVC Fan Facebook group. Coming up next. The DVC show is brought to you by DVCstore.com. You'll save thousands of dollars on your next DVC contract when you let the experts at the DVC store help welcome you home. Visit them on the web at www.dvcstore.com or call 1-800-550-6493. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, coming to you from the Bob Varley studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends Sean Falk.
Hi.
Jackie Gailey.
Hi there.
From the DVC store, Miss Jamie Carr.
Hey, everybody.
Joining us via Skype, as always, Mr. Pete Shidley and his cat.
Hi, everyone.
And on the controls, our associate producer, Mr. Corey Fiasconaro.
Welcome home and happy holidays.
All right, so it is the holidays. It is the holidays, and when we first talked about doing this show, I made my notes about what my favorite DVC resorts would be for the holidays. But we also put a poll up on DVC Fan. And while I'm not overwhelmingly surprised by the results, I am surprised by how overwhelming the number one was. What do you think it was? What do you think the number one resort was?
I'm going to give you two.
Nope, you got to pick one.
Grand Floridian.
Nope.
I'm thinking Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Wrong.
I mean, for me, it'd be Wilderness Lodge, but
Wilderness Lodge. What about you, Pete?
Yeah, I would think Wilderness Lodge will be the fan favorite.
In total, I think there was about 675 responses. 394 of them, 58% Wilderness Lodge. This wasn't even close.
Wow.
That's where I was torn because I was like, if it's only one, I was like, I don't know if I have to pick Boulder
Yeah, if I
Ridge
got
or
to
Copper
pick
Creek.
two, my other one was going to be
I didn't know if I had
Wilderness
to pick
Lodge.
specifically.
Grand Floridian was second with 94 votes, 14%
Wow.
of the respondents voted for that. Polynesian,
That's kind of amazing, though. 58%.
Yeah.
58. No, it was like I said. This wasn't even.
Water.
This was a routing. I mean, this wasn't even close.
It's because it's got the most feel. It's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not that the rest aren't decorated. It's the lodge, the fireplace, the
Oh, yeah.
gigantic tree.
That's
And
where
now the
I would.
gingerbread house this year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
I know
goodness.
you've been obsessed about.
Well, that's the best thing about Grand
See,
Floridian.
we have a text group. We have a text group among our content team that I get copied in on, and if she types the word gingerbread one more time, I'm going to drive up to her house and I'm going to beat her with a gingerbread man until she's dead. Because, especially last week because I was sick, right? And I eventually just had to mute that group.
Uh-oh.
Because every time I got a text, it was from this group, and it was usually Jackie, and the word gingerbread was going to be in there. Even look at her head right now.
I even offered to let him wear my ears, but he didn't wish to.
She's got gingerbread
you.
on her head. So Polynesian came in third, 50 votes. That's about 7%. Animal Kingdom Lodge, 5%, and that was tied with Boardwalk at 5%. Both got 35. So if we'll count that as a tie for fourth, and then Old Key West was fifth with a paltry 15 votes, which tied with Grand Californian for fifth at 2%. And I didn't even bother with the rest of them. The only two resorts not to get any votes whatsoever were Hilton Head and Vero Beach. But
And there was one other thing that I think 10 people voted for Riviera without even seeing.
we had 10 votes for Riviera. It's not open yet.
These people are excited.
Already.
That's impressive.
I would not. I mean, please, feel free to write in or something if I'm wrong on this. But I can't imagine staying at Hilton Head at Christmas time. I mean, I grew up in that area, and it is just it's cold, but it's not cold enough to be like winter Christmas feeling. It's just like swampy Like, it's just really, it's below freezing or right at freezing, but it's not going to snow ever. And I just can't imagine staying there at Christmas time. So I get why that got 0 votes, 100%. Because it's not like you could come down to Vero Beach and be like, you know what, we want to have a warm Christmas, and I don't want to be in the cold, and I want to go to the beach, and that'd be fine. But you cannot do that at Hilton Head.
Well, and you also have to think that, people aren't voting for their home resort here or their favorite resort because we've done that. We've done those kind of polls, and this list was very different. So with Wilderness Lodge, though, I mean, wow. So now Jackie mentioned that this year Wilderness Lodge doing the gingerbread house.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about Grand Californian at Christmas is they've got the hot chocolate concession, the best hot chocolate you'll ever taste in your entire life. They got a hot chocolate concession set up in the lobby, and they're selling little candies and cookies and things like that. Just makes it even more special. Is Wilderness Lodge going far enough? Should Wilderness Lodge start maybe taking a page out of that book?
They are doing that, actually.
Are they?
Yes.
I haven't been over there, so.
They've got a whole area with cookies and shingles and gingerbread men and the gingerbread shingles and all kinds of goodies and everything over there.
So they're in it to win it now.
They are, yeah.
So would you compare Grand Californian to Grand Floridian, the setup?
Was Contemporary not on the list, Fiasco?
No, it was on the list.
Okay.
Do you not see it there?
I didn't when I moved it over. Where was Contemporary? Was Contemporary?
Here, I'll pull it up right now.
Because it'd be a
see where
Bay
it
Lake
fell.
Tower, and I feel like that'd be a really sterile Christmas. I don't.
Well, Contemporary actually has the the setup, like she was saying, with the cute little things for sale right in front of the gift shop on the level of the monorail. So they actually do
Grand
have
Concourse.
more than a lot of the other
Yeah.
resorts. But your comparison to Grand Californian, just to get an idea, would you compare it to Grand Floridian, like how they have the house and
No, because I mean
feel?
they certainly do a big display at the Grand Californian, and of course the big they have it's beautifully decorated. It's absolutely incredibly decorated. But I really thought the touches with the hot chocolate and that stuff. I mean, I really thought the Grand Floridian probably would have topped this poll.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was surprised.
I was very surprised, but
I would have thought it would have been closer. I mean, at the
me
very
too.
least, because as you say, they do the chestnuts too, right? Do they still do the roasted chestnuts at the Grand
They
Floridian?
don't. Richard used to do that. In fact, I have a picture of my kids when they were real little, and they were roasting chestnuts with Richard, and I miss that so much. It's not there this year, and it wasn't there last year.
no.
So,
I miss it.
and real quick, at the bottom of the list, right above Hilton Head and Vero Beach, we have Bay Lake Tower with 8 votes, Beach Club with 9 votes, and Saratoga Springs with a 3-voter.
wow,
Yeah.
wow,
Well, yeah, Saratoga. I don't think anybody's going out of their way to.
no.
I wanted to tell you guys.
I wonder if Bay Lake Tower does poorly because the decorations are really at the hotel side, the Contemporary side.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, they do put like some kind of gingerbread thing there by the Small World mural. It's not Small World mural. The Grand
Canyon Concourse.
mural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mary Blair did the mural, so that's why you're thinking Small World. But,
Right. Yeah, but it's not called that. I know.
Yeah, I
But
think.
I'm surprised that one is that low.
Yeah, I think that the big thing about it is, especially like for me, it'd be Wilderness Lodge for sure, just because that has that homey, Christmassy feel to it. But I do think that a big chunk of it is when you go, especially the week between Christmas and New Year's, it is so packed in the parks. Like you really don't. My family made the mistake of going once for Christmas, like as actual Christmas, and we will never do it again. And it was chaotic, and so you end up spending a lot of your time in the resort at that point because you're just like, I'm done, like I'm exhausted and I got to get out of here. So you need things to be doing. So I think because you spend more time in the resort, then that's why that resort has a
Maybe.
more homey feel, I guess.
Maybe.
I spent one Christmas in Disney, and it was the last Christmas that we had. It was the first Christmas that I had moved here, and it had never fallen. My vacations had never fallen there before. But we went to Magic Kingdom on Christmas Day, and it was really awesome. It was really cool to spend Christmas in Magic Kingdom, but I saw things that day I had never seen before. I saw a fight. I saw a guy.
Wow.
I saw a guy urinating behind a kiosk. Yeah, it was a very merry time in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really
Christmas
magical.
is rough at the park, so it is very, especially at Magic Kingdom specifically. We went to Disneyland actually on. My grandmother came out, we took her Christmas Day night, like we drove down there, and then we were there the next couple days, and it was so packed you literally could not move. And of course she was in a wheelchair, so it made it even worse. So like we're trying to move her around, and it was one of the coldest days on record in Anaheim as well, because it got below freezing, which is crazy for Southern California. And it got like down into the low 30s, I guess, and it was just the worst experience going at Christmas.
Yeah,
So
no.
it's chaotic and all that. So
Never done it.
Yeah,
I've
it's-
never done it on Christmas. I've never. Yeah, no.
We were at Disneyland for Christmas and New Year's. We were there for that week,
Mm-hmm.
and we knew it was going to be busy, so we knew it going in, and we were.
Now, I will say one of the things I'm surprised about, just because, it is the holidays encompassing, is New Year's is kind of in that as well. And like for me, I always go to Epcot, so it is appealing to me to have a place to stay right behind Epcot. So besides Wilderness Lodge, I would have one of the Epcot resorts as my backup, just because there is like Festival of the Holidays, as well as I go for New Year's specifically, which is a whole different experience and all that. So I'm surprised that none of the Epcot resorts were a little higher, just because there are festivities at Epcot during the holidays.
Probably the feeling.
Look-
Like one of the things I wanted to add, because I wanted to say about Wilderness Lodge, is that they've even gotten to the point with this new gingerbread that they've got spice
There
mousse
it is.
cookies. I know I said it again, but they have spice mousse cookies, so kind of along the theme, and they have
what the hell's a spice mousse?
a pine tree. Well, it's a.
Is it shaped like a mousse?
It is.
Okay.
It's like a mousse cutout cookie, and it's not gingerbread, but it's like a. I haven't had one, so I'm not sure what spices, but I'm guessing, just the holiday season spices. But then there's something really cool and unique that they also have, and it's a mix of different things, candy and pretzels and chocolate chunks, and they call it reindeer food. So, and then they've got a 2-pack of solid chocolate pine cones too. So they're kind of theming their stuff that they're selling at this new little house, and which makes me feel like it's going to keep coming back. I'm hoping, because I think it adds a really decent amount of just festivities, fun. Give people a reason to go check it out.
I feel like that's the standard now for deluxe resorts is you better have a gingerbread house.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask, because you've all spent a lot more time there at the holidays than I have. If you go past those first two, the Wilderness Lodge and Grand Floridian, which are, pretty clearly from this poll, the number one and number two, what's your opinion? What would your next pick be if you discounted those two?
I agreed with the poll. My other choice, like after I did Wilderness Lodge and then an Epcot resort, I would pick Polynesian as my third, just because I think there's a lot of people that there's always one person in the family that doesn't want to leave for Christmas. Like they like Christmas at home. And I think that's where you can stay at Wilderness Lodge and have like the homey Christmas feel while also pleasing the people who want to come to Disney. I think Polynesian's great for people who just want to get away for Christmas and just don't want to be involved really at all in that and want the feeling of escape completely, because Polynesian really would pull me out of that, but it would still be a really good time.
But I always felt that, versus the other deluxe resorts, Polynesian basically phoned it in for Christmas. Where you have, just let's talk about the monorail loop. And I'll go ahead and extend that to Wilderness Lodge. Contemporary, Grand Floridian, Wilderness Lodge all do far more than Polynesian does. Beach Club and Yacht Club, Boardwalk, all do more than Polynesian does. So that's why I would never have put Polynesian in my top 3. Boardwalk I would have.
Boardwalk makes me swoon at Christmas time.
Boardwalk is gorgeous at Christmas.
It
It
is.
really, really is.
Yeah.
So
What do y'all think with Old Key West? Because that was in the top 5 as well.
That
and I'm kind of
surprised me.
surprised.
that surprised me as well because I don't know. I've not been over there for Christmas. I may have to
think
go out of my
it's-
way and do that, but
More of that, because a lot of people do the Grand Villa for Christmas and it's a big family thing. I think there's that emotional tie to remembering going there with family. They do lights like along the waterway and stuff like that, so you get a little taste of it, but I think there's that one's coming in because of emotional, like people remembering that
Yeah.
they went there with family. But to Pete's question, if I can't pick Wilderness, which I think you said I can't, I would say Animal Kingdom.
I would like that.
It's gorgeous at Christmas,
It is
isn't it?
really,
That-
really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was kind of my thinking, was that would be my probably third placed one, because I love the tree there. It's so gorgeous, and they really make the lobby feel very, even though it's still got that Africa feel, it still feels Christmassy. And but I haven't been to every resort at the holidays. And again, I'm usually not down there for Christmas, of course, but we've been down in November and December, so we've seen a lot of the resorts. And that's the one I thought.
I would really love to see what Alani does
Oh, yeah.
for Christmas. I would
And
love to see.
I was
it.
wondering. I was surprised did they have any votes at Alani?
They did. Alani got 11, just one more than Riviera.
That's funny. When we lived in Seattle, a lot of friends would go to Hawaii for Christmas, and it was like a really popular thing to do for people.
Yeah,
that
I can
lived in
imagine.
Seattle.
Oh yeah, and the availability, that's probably the hardest availability to get is between Christmas and New Year's.
I believe it.
Because people take the Grand Villas are like nearly impossible because people take huge family trips to Hawaii
Yeah.
from the West Coast. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I mean, you could get a round trip ticket for $300. I mean, that was a
And now
Well,
all,
that was then.
now all the
years
East
ago,
Coasters are
but-
crying.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So very interesting results here. Like I said, Wilderness Lodge killing it. 58% of that vote
Insane.
went to Wilderness Lodge. So there you have it. That's our look at the best DVC resorts for the holidays. We hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you again next week with another episode of the DVC Show. Have a great week, folks.